Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the dinner table. I'm your host, Nick. I'm joined by my dad.
Hi, I'm Mike.
Sorry about the sudden burst of barking. That was Riley.
Yeah,
He's a little upset right now. Riley.
Riley, please. Shh.
Someone went for a walk without him, but
Yeah, this is bad timing.
bad timing. That's okay. It is what it is. We will press forward. Maybe we'll press forward.
Maybe we'll.
He's not happy.
No.
That's okay.
Okay,
Poor guy.
I think we're good now.
Okay. So we always try to bring a topic here. Sometimes they're serious, sometimes they're not. We've done too many serious ones here lately. I'm kind of bored with the serious stuff. Actually, I'm just getting bored with all of the serious stuff. I don't know. It's after a while.
I thought we'd lighten it up.
Yeah. So my dad came up with a topic, and I'll let him take it from here.
Yeah, but I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and it's we both love music, both Nick and I, and I listen to music every day, and I always wanted to pick my desert island discs. You know, if you got stuck on a desert island somewhere, assuming it was Gilligan's Island and you had electricity and all that, you know, and you could play music, which 10 discs, for me it's albums, vinyl, you know, so we'll go with that. Which 10 vinyl albums would you have with you, or like to have with you, or would you miss the most if you were stuck on the desert island or what have you?
That's what I did. I did what I couldn't imagine not having with me.
Yeah, and it was, for me, and I'm sure you too, it was really hard to do.
Oh yeah.
Because, you know, I've been around a long time, and I listened to a lot of music, and poor Riley.
Yeah, Riley's always sorry about that.
Excuse me. I've listened to a lot of music, and I've had eras of music that I really like, and it was really difficult for me to pick, you know, from my high school years or my young adults to midlife to now even. It's hard to pick just 10.
Absolutely.
And
it took me a long time.
And you try to get your favorite artists in there and try to get your favorite genres of music or what have you. So, you know, I did it. I could change it. I could change it tomorrow probably, or I could change it right now.
Here. Yeah.
But if you want me to get started,
yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
These are in no order, by the way. These are just 10. You know, they're not best to worst or worst to best or anything like that. It's just 10
must-haves,
vinyl records that I must have with me. Now, and also we set some rules: no best ofs and no live albums, because best ofs is cheating.
Absolutely.
And live albums are kind of best ofs with maybe some new music intersped, in some of them.
But they're pretty much all the same.
But they always play the hits, or in my case, most of the bands I listened to didn't have hits, but they had popular songs or what have you.
Yeah.
So, are we recording or?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, good.
I was having a weird time hearing for some reason.
Okay, so my number 10 on my list is Rush, because I love Rush.
Mm-hmm.
And I could have put 10 Rush albums on here, actually. But it's Signals.
Really?
And amongst the fan base, this is not one of the fan base's most favorite records, because it was kind of when they were transitioning out of their late 70s kind of heavy rock stuff into the 80s, where they went more synthesizers and almost a little bit of pop music. But this was kind of their transition to that, I think. But there's some really good songs on there. And Subdivisions, The Analog Kid, Digital Man, love those songs. And probably my favorite Rush song of all of them is New World Man. That's
a good song. Very good song.
Yeah, I just love that song. And I don't know, I thought I got to put some Rush on here. And this was the first one that came to my mind, was Signals, believe it or not.
Really?
I mean, yeah,
That's good.
yeah,
No, that's good. That's a good choice.
yeah. I think it's a good album, and I don't care what the fan base thinks.
Yeah,
One of
no,
my
that's an
favorites.
excellent album.
Yeah. So that's number 10 for me.
Well, my number 10, you can tell we're father and son, is Rush, but it's a different album.
Okay.
Um, Mine is Clockwork Angels.
Oh yeah,
That is
yeah.
my hands down favorite Rush album.
I had a hard time not putting that on this list.
Did you?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
I
is
really did.
just the garden alone. Not ever hearing that song
Yeah,
again would be a sad thing for me. I love that album. I have fond memories of seeing them on tour with that album, and it's just the way to do it. I love it.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
great.
We saw him play that on tour twice, I think. But
Yeah, we went
yeah,
to Virginia to go see that tour. Was it that one?
no,
Or no, that was Snakes and Arrows,
yeah,
which is also good, but it's
yeah, yeah,
still not Clockwork Angels. It's their last album. Neil unfortunately passed away, 5 years after that came out?
yeah. Not long.
Not long.
Yeah.
That album's almost 10 years old. I think it's like
Oh, it's at
2015.
least 10 years old.
Yeah, is it
Yeah,
2015?
and might be older than
I
that.
don't know. I have to
I
look.
could,
I didn't look. I didn't look up dates on any of these because I've just realized I'm old.
yeah,
But I love that album. It's something I mean, every song on it's good.
yeah. The Garden.
The Garden is
Is
the best.
one of my all-time
And it ends
songs.
on such a powerful note. But Brought Up to Believe, I mean, Clockwork Angels, the song, The
Yeah.
Anarchist, all of
Well,
that's
it's a
very
it's
good.
a concept too.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
story. I mean, the whole album is a story.
Oh
And
yeah.
there's a book. There's a companion book that you can. I think I read the book. I'm not much into that kind of fantasy science fiction stuff, so
Oh,
I
same
didn't
here.
really
Yeah.
enjoy the book that much. But the story follows. The album has a story. And it's good. Yeah, that's a good album. I
It's
had a hard time not putting that on here, but I didn't put it on there.
yeah,
So yeah,
it is my favorite.
yeah, good choice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wish I had a way of just like positioning this up so I can see everything going on. Hello? Hello? Okay, we're good.
All right.
I'm just having a hard time hearing me. I hear you fine. I'm just not hearing me. And
Well, hopefully you're recording.
I am, because when I speak, it moves up.
Well,
So it's weird. I think doing all the stuff that I've been doing here health wise, I think it screws up
yeah.
everything a little bit. So, but yeah, that was my first one right off the bat. It's kind of funny. We both had the same band.
Yeah, it's the same band
Just
now.
different albums.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
really.
yeah. Okay, next one for me, Steppenwolf, Monster.
That's a good album.
Yeah, it is.
That is really
Yeah, the song Monster, if you've never heard it, you probably should give it a listen because it's so relevant. This was written in like 1967 or 68,
good. Mhm.
something like that. It's very much a counterculture, reflects the time. The songs on there, Monster, Suicide America, that's the main song. It's like 20 minutes long too. But
Yeah.
great song, still relevant. Still absolutely relevant today. Power Play, Draft Resistor,
Mhm.
you know, we'll march them off to prison in this land of liberty. One of my favorite freaking
That's a great
all-time
line.
lines.
That's a great
Yes,
line.
absolutely. Move Over. It's a great album. And Steppenwolf was my first favorite band. When I was a young teenager, I was probably 12, 13 years old even. And I heard these guys. Of course, Born to Be Wild was their big hit, and so I started buying all these Steppenwolf albums. But back in those days, the record companies made these guys put out like 2 albums a year.
That's insane.
And so they're spotty. You get 2 or 3 good songs on an album, and the rest of them are kind of throwaway, because they had to put something on there. So they just put something on there. But this album is solid. And I think it's their best work or some of their best work. I also like Steppenwolf 7. That's a good album.
Mm.
But there's, like 3 songs on there that are really good, and the rest of them are kind of, this isn't so good. So this is the one I picked. Love the song Monster, Power Play, Draft Resistor, Move Over. Those are all good songs. It's a good album.
Yeah. No,
That's my choice.
that is very good. I like it when we hear it in the car and stuff going places. It's an
Yeah.
excellent album. Mine is it. I'm gonna get them quickly because this was the hardest one to choose for me. It is Coheed and Cambria, "Colors Before the Sun," which is their only album that had nothing to do with their whole narrative of Coheed and Cambria. It is just a great album. It's very personal. You know, it's more about what was going on in their time when they were recording that album, and it's just so different from what they've done. And, you know, when you have because most of their albums are a narrative from beginning to end. You know, like their
Yeah.
second album was called "Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth 3." What the hell was one and two? You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but that album to me is, I think lyrically it is their just best. I mean, you
Yeah.
got "From Here to Mars," which is a great kind of a love ballad, I guess, and then you got, oh God, I'm having a brain fart on all of them. "The Audience," which is just a heavy song. "Atlas," which is about him leaving his son. You know, he's just born.
Mm,
So it's really good album, or a good song. And then you got "Piece of the Mountain," which I used to as a stand-in for my movie
yeah.
that one time. That's a beautiful song.
Yeah. I'm not a big Coheed and Cambria fan. Yeah, I mean,
That
they're a little
album
too
is,
proggy for me, I think. A little too.
yeah, at times they are.
Yeah.
They are very. This one is not really. This one is pretty much like their most strong lyrically, and just the music is that tone. And it's not heavy all the time. Sometimes it's kind of poppy. Sometimes it's kind of acoustic. You
Mm,
know, I think "Ghosts" is just him and a guitar, and it's fantastic. It's just a great album. And "Second Stage Turbine Blade" was on that list, and so was a couple others. So many good Coheed albums, but I had to go with this one because it
mm.
was, every song on there is great. I can't imagine never ever not hearing them again. I listen to that album once a week, almost no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out driving. 'Cause I drive all the time, so I'm out driving. Sometimes just I'll wind my day down. And the
Mm.
last hour of the day, I'll just no more podcasts. Let's put on Coheed
Yeah.
and Cambria, and
There you
that
go.
song is, that album's always been great, and all the songs on it are great. I can't hype it up enough. It's just too good.
There you go.
So,
Good. Well, the next one for me is Black Sabbath's original album, their debut,
it's good.
Black
It's really
Sabbath.
good.
Black Sabbath, Black Sabbath.
No, that's
Yeah.
excellent.
I like Black Sabbath's first four albums. After that, I think the drugs and the lifestyle and everything kind of caught up to them, and they just weren't as good, you know. And Ozzy Osbourne was his self-destructive self, you know. You know, that I just their later stuff I just never liked.
Yeah, you watch those behind the
But
musics about them, and you realize why they moved on.
yeah,
It made sense for them to move on.
yeah. But their original album, their first album, I think is their best one. I mean, and everything was a little kind of going downhill after that, to me anyway. You know, they called it heavy metal, but it was more blues and jazz. If you listen to it,
Especially today.
yeah, it's a kind of a jazzy album almost, and it's really really good. And that's my favorite Black Sabbath album, and I had to put them on the list because I was kind of a big fan of them in my high school years. Never saw them live or anything, and that's fine. I never really cared to, you know, just not that crowd. You know, I can watch them from a distance, but
We're
yeah,
into the metal crowd, huh?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not big on all that, but I do like that album. It's a good album, good songs, and basically they recorded that in like 2 days. They
Wow.
just went into a studio and they played what they were playing in the clubs and stuff. And a couple of weeks later, they handed it back to him, and here's your album. And,
Hmm.
you know, they released it, and it was they did very well, especially in England and the United States. It did quite well. It was in, I think it made it into the top 10
That's really
here,
cool.
yeah, for their debut. Which, not knowing who the hell they are, that's pretty good.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you know.
Hold on. Nope. There it goes. I'm back. I think these damn mics. I gotta get to it. Um, my next one. Sorry about that. Is getting weird little buggy things here and there, but it's not. I think it's just more of a microphone. It's still recording though, so I'm not too worried about it. My next one, I'm gonna go ahead and just get it out of the way because I'm pretty sure it's on yours. Well, at least one of their albums is definitely on yours, and that is "Counting Crows." But mine is "August and Everything."
Oh, okay.
Their first one,
August and everything after.
or "Everything After."
Yeah.
Excuse me, I always forget
Yeah.
the after part.
Yeah.
That is that's one of those albums of my youth.
That was their debut album.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Jones.
Mr. Jones, Anna Begins,
Yeah,
right?
Rain King.
Rain King, yeah, Omaha. It's around here. I mean, that was the big one when I was a kid.
Hmm.
Is I grew up in Seattle in the early '90s, but I didn't really just music for me was more like 95, 96. I was 15, 16 years old,
Right, right.
and that's when these guys started to come up, and I love that. That's
Yeah, I really like the first time I heard what you call it,
Mr.
Mr.
Jones.
Jones.
Yeah,
Yeah, first time I heard that song, I thought, wow, these guys are really good. Who the hell are they? And oh, it's a new band, Counting Crows. Yeah, yeah, that's a good album. And matter of fact, that's on my honorable mention list.
oh, is it?
Yeah, yeah, I didn't put it in my 10, but
Oh, you
it's on
didn't?
my honorable
I'm
mention.
surprised by
Yeah,
that. That is
yeah,
that's a great one. Again, every song is great.
yeah, they're all good. Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
don't know a single bad. I can't even think of one. I listened to that. That's the one I can listen to beginning to end and not even hit shuffle or skip. I just love it.
yeah, I think Adam Duritz is one of the great songwriters of
Yes,
his time. And
yes,
he writes good songs. A lot of words in them, though. I
yes.
wouldn't want to have to remember all that stuff to sing. But
I
they're
think he
good.
has a condition where that's hard.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure he uses a teleprompter, but yeah, it's good stuff. I like it.
But yeah,
Good
that's
album. That's a good album.
yeah.
Good choice. Well, the next one for me, I had to throw a Beatles album on there because I mean the Beatles. They're the reason why we're talking about a lot of this music today
Yes,
is
I
the
do agree.
Beatles.
Yeah,
And it's Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
really.
Yeah, that's a good album. I mean, if you think about it, all the
That,
songs on
oh
there.
no, that is really
And,
the
and
birth of progressive rock.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If it
Yeah,
wasn't for that album, we wouldn't have progressive rock.
yeah, or it'd sound like Pink Floyd.
Yeah, yeah, really boring. Yeah, but the technical aspects of it, the recording of it, the songs are all good for the most part. One of my favorite Beatles songs on there, "A Day in the Life."
Hmm.
Love that song, and that's on there. Uh,
No, that's a
Little
good
Help from
choice.
My Friends, which Joe Cocker made a freaking fortune off of
I
because
think he made more money than they did.
I think he did, and I think he did a better job with the song personally. But Fixing a Hole, that's a good one. She's Leaving Home.
Hmm.
You remember that one?
Yeah,
That's such a good song. Uh, it's a good album, very good album. And that's kind of when they decided not to tour anymore,
it made
and
sense why
it
they
made
did it.
sense why they did it. Yeah, Neil Peart, our favorite band, Rush, criticized them a lot for that, saying if you're going to be a rock and roll band, you need to tour. But I understand why they didn't. It's nothing but screaming teenagers, and you I get it. But anyway, that's my one and only Beatles album actually on here is Sergeant
Really?
Pepper's. Yeah, I wanted to get something that represented them well and something I enjoy listening to on a desert island somewhere for the rest of my life or whatever, or until I get rescued. So
Well, my next one is one that no one would ever expect because everybody knows I love hard rock, heavy metal, progressive rock, and kind of like that poppy West Coast style rock. But I'm going to go David Rawlings, Poor David's Almanac, and it's good old bluegrass.
yeah,
Love
there you go.
that,
Yeah,
love that album.
I do like some bluegrass.
You get Cumberland Gap is one of the best songs I've ever heard. That's just a great song. And then you got Airplane on there. And then you got his fun ones like Oh God, a Woman, which is about the creation of Earth, but man was lonely. So Oh God, a Woman, it's such fun. It is great from beginning to end. Again, one of those. And if I'm down or I'm just kind of like just not feeling it today, I'll throw that on and it just complete mood changer.
Mm,
And he's a great guitar player, very underrated for his guitar playing ability. He's fantastic. I think he went to Berkeley School of Music, which is funny, a bluegrass guy,
yeah,
one of the
well,
most
why
prestigious
not?
music schools in the world. But yeah, that is if you're ever gonna give David Rawlings a chance, get it. Poor David's Almanac. That is such a good album from
Yeah,
beginning to end. I'm not a country guy, but I do
I'm
like
not
him.
either. I don't like country music, but I do like. Well, I say I don't like country music. There's a little bit of it that I like. Some of the older,
Yeah,
this modern country music is
I
crap.
like
But
he calls himself Western, not country, but he's out of Oregon. And he almost made this list, but it's kind of too new for me to put on there is the White Buffalo. He's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But he does. I'll have to play you my favorite song of his. It's "I Wish It Was True." Man, that's holy crap, is that good?
Hmm.
But he's more of just a guy with the guitar, and I like that. He just doesn't get too twangy. He has a big, deep baritone voice, so it's not like the singing through his nose. He doesn't
Yeah.
do any of that. So, but he's about it. But I left him off because like
Yeah.
it's a little too new for me right now. I just started listening to him, so I don't know if it's going to be permanent. But David Rawlings, I heard it, Cumberland Gap off of the movie Gentleman soundtrack,
Hmm.
and I was hooked
Yeah.
immediately. I'm like, this song is fantastic, and
Yeah.
then the rest of that album is so great. And then I've seen other things from them, like the Tiny Desk. I think they did a Tiny Desk show where they kind of go into an office and they play for NPR.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
they do so, and I'm like, man, how have I missed these guys? Of course, I don't listen to that kind of music
Yeah, I don't
normally,
either. Yeah.
but yeah, he's great. Man, that's I don't know. I couldn't imagine ever not hearing Cumberland Gap again. That would be like the saddest day. You can't listen to
Yeah.
that. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that one. I had to go a little weird, not my normal rock thing, but you got to have some variety in life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I try to put some variety in this thing,
yeah,
but there's really not a lot.
and
When
same
when
here.
you
I
look
mean,
at
we probably hit my most unique one.
it. Yeah. So, next one for me, mine, it's number 6 on my list, but like I said, these are in no particular
Yeah.
order at all. So, Counting Crows,
Hmm.
this Desert Life.
That's a good album. That
Yeah.
that was on my my
Yeah,
album.
yeah, I was having a hard time with between August and everything after and this one,
Yeah,
but
it goes.
this is
Yeah.
a great album. Every song on it is good. Every one of them. Hanging Around, Amy Hit the Atmosphere, All My Friends, Colorblind, Speedway, Mrs. Potter's Lullaby,
Hmm.
4 Days, High Life, I Wish I Was a Girl,
Yeah.
St. Robinson and His Cadillac Dream,
Yeah.
one of my favorites, and I Wish I Was a Girl is one of my favorites.
Yeah. That's a good
I
song.
mean, the songwriting, the playing, everything about that album is
That new one they
top
did too.
top notch.
I saw them do the new one with him and the guitar player on one of the Kimmel or Fallon,
Yeah.
and it was Elevator Boots.
Oh,
Holy
Elevator
shit,
Boots.
that
Yeah,
song's
that's
good. It's like,
yeah,
God dang it.
yeah. That song's about being a rock star.
Yes, it
So
is. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's a reluctant rock star,
Yes, he
Adam
is.
Duritz.
Yeah.
He's not big on the fame thing, but this album to me is
No, that's a good
probably their
choice.
best album, I think.
That is
Yeah,
a damn good
yeah, it's
choice.
damn good. And I've been wanting to see those guys in concert, and every time they come
Yeah.
around, something happens.
It's like meeting Cody.
The last time it was COVID. I had tickets, gonna go. I got COVID, couldn't
It's
go.
stuck in Maine.
I got stuck in Maine, and I was just like, oh.
That sucked. Yeah,
But one of these days, I'm hoping.
No, yeah, that's a good album.
Yeah, I love that album.
I'd never argue that one.
Yeah,
Um, we're gonna stay with the folkiness a little bit of folky and funk to it, and we're gonna go with Joey Epper's back, "Bend to the Future,"
yeah, Joe.
which is
Yeah, the only song I know of his is the one you
yeah,
have on your movie.
but
It's a good song though.
yeah. Well, he has an acoustic version of another album that's coming up. It's a song from that album, "Paint by Numbers." He does it acoustically on there, and
Mm.
God, that dude. It sounds like four guitars going on at once, and then it isn't. It's just him. It's just the way he plays. It's weird. Watching him play that song, it's like all because he's a finger guy, so it's all like fingers. Looks like he's playing a bass, but really awkwardly.
Yeah,
You know. But every song, you got Maze Disgrace, Trail of Tears, which we all pretty sure we know what that's about.
yeah,
Um, Faster, of course. The Game, which is kind of a funny one about him, his brother, and the original bass player, or the guy who's still the bass player for Three. I think it's still the bass player. It's just great. And the song "Bend to the Future," which is also a Three song, but he does it acoustically in there. It slows it down and really just puts a lot to it. It's fantastic album. It's not really. It's not a best of. It is his because he wrote all of that. It is his, but
yeah.
he just released them weird. This one came out. That album I didn't know came out in 2003.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been listening to it probably since like 2006,
Yeah.
but I didn't know what they were because they kind of came out at the same time as Three came out with Coheed. and they kind of got lost in that shuffle. Same town, same kind. I think they're the same neighborhood. They grew up together. You know, they're all good friends. The brother drummer for Three is also the drummer for Coheed and Cambria, but he doesn't drum for Three anymore because Coheed kind of blew up, and you have to choose. And sadly, I get the choice.
Yeah.
I think everybody else probably did. But that album it's one of those again that I could just put on and just hear it. At times it's folky, at times it's a little bit of funk. He kind of plays with a little bit of funk, a little bit of rock, but it's excellent. And
Mm.
yeah, I highly recommend it to anybody. Anybody wants to listen to that, just go do it. It's great.
All right. Well, number 5 for me is Collective Soul. Collective Soul. They're self-titled.
Which one was that?
That's their second album. It's got Simple, The World I Know, December,
Okay, yeah, okay,
Jail,
yeah, that's a good album. No,
The Waterfalls,
that took me a minute. It's been a little while.
Smashing Young Man, Where the River Flows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great album.
Yeah,
And it's really their first album in truth. Because their first album, Hints, Rumors, and Allegations, was nothing but a bunch of songs that the singer put together in his basement to try to sell his songwriting rights to. And they had the one hit there. What's the name of that song? Heaven Let Your Light Shine.
yeah, that's it.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's Light Shine Down.
Light Shine.
Or is it Shine Down?
No.
Oh goodness, I can't remember. But that is a great song. Dolly Parton.
Shine. Shine is the name.
Yeah,
of it.
Shine. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dolly Parton got the Grammy.
She got the Grammy for that one, but yeah. But that's really, as a band, that's the first album that they recorded, and wow, that's got some good songs on it.
Oh, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. It's Collective Soul. I like a lot of their stuff, and I have a pretty good variety of it on my playlist that I listen to in the car a lot. But damn near the whole album is on my playlist because it is that good.
No.
And if you've never seen them live, they are a great live band.
No, I never
They
have.
are fantastic.
Never have.
Yeah, and they're always the opening act too, and I don't get it because they're usually better than the
That
and they're
happens too.
supporting.
My next one all the
Yeah.
time, especially when they tour in the U.S. It happens to them all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's number 5 for me, Collective Soul.
Well, my next one is Our Lady Pete's Happiness is Not a Fish You Can Catch.
There you go. Good title.
Great freaking album. Oh my goodness. Every single song. Like, I cannot emphasize, every single song is so well written, so well performed. And they're a little pop rocky. They're Canadian. Huge. I saw a concert they just filmed in 2019. It was looked like a soccer stadium full.
Yeah.
But here in the U.S., they can barely get 1,000 people, and it's
Weird.
sad. I think it's because of his voice. He can get a little Dylanish.
Oh, okay.
He's a little nasally at times, but
Yeah.
he was they were kind of the first band that made me look past that because what he was saying was like, holy shit, this is really good. This is the song, yeah, Happiness in the Fish is fantastic. One Man Army. And these are songs that I think it was my 20s when that came out. So it was after 90. It was about 2000, 2001. And that thing was in my car constantly. I would come home and remove it and put it into the CD player here. It was always there. And it always still is always there. It's something I look them up every now and again just to see what they're doing. And they have an acoustic set of the other album that I was struggling with was Always in Repair.
Mm-hmm.
No, Spiritual Machines. But they have an acoustic version of Always in Repair, man. I was like, God damn it. They're just like, they went like Clumsy, Happiness, and Spiritual Machines all right in a row. And I'm like, these are 3. It's so hard to choose. But I had to choose this one because every single song on it is great.
Yeah.
And his voice started to sound a little bit better. I think because he's getting older. Like, you listen to him now, he sounds great. I think that if they were to start with his voice now, they would be one of the biggest bands in the world. But, because he was younger and he was a little bit, almost kind of howled every now and again. It was, but as a songwriter, he's up there to me. He's very close to Adam Duritz. He's a great songwriter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's good. Again, it's to something that I've listened to since I was 15. And, that band. And then I had to put one of them on there.
Yeah.
It is so hard to choose which one. They bumped another big band because of that. I had to put it on there.
Yeah.
And the world has to know. The six people who listen to us have to know.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, that's that one.
Okay, my next one is Rush again.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Rush. Moving pictures.
Mm.
I'm surprised that's not on your list, or maybe it is.
No,
No.
no, they got bumped for. I went with Clockwork Angels.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Moving Pictures was their first really big, huge
Yes.
multi-platinum album, and it's so good. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it is. It's
there's nothing you
definitely.
can.
It was a tough choice. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna. That's up
and
there.
if there was a best of that I could take with me, it would be a
Mhm.
Rush best of because they got so many good songs
Okay.
on so many different albums. But I guess if I'm gonna have to take one or two of those two would have been, Signals and Moving Pictures.
Mhm.
Moving Pictures, fantastic, great album. Vital Signs is a good song. Witch Hunt, Camera Eye, they're all good.
Oh yeah.
YYZ or YYZ,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Depending where you
know,
are.
Red Barchetta, Tom Sawyer.
Yeah, they're
Tom
hits.
Sawyer was, yeah,
Their hits are all there.
yeah,
That
it's all
is.
there. So I might get tired of it after a bit. If I finally had 10 records to listen to,
Mhm.
yeah, that would be one because I've heard it so much.
I think that's why
And
I bumped it.
that's why I thought about leaving it off,
Yeah.
and putting something else on there. But I don't know. I just went back to it. So
Hmm.
there you go.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Well, this was a today decision. This band, they bumped Alice in Chains.
Oh no.
They did. I love Alice in Chains. Always will. Always. They're always, but they're almost interchangeable to me with this band. And it is Incubus, Morning View. That freaking album when that came
I don't
out.
know that I've ever heard.
When I was 23 years old and that came out,
Yeah.
and I heard "Nice to Know You" for the first time, I was like, "Oh, this is good."
Yeah.
I got locked in. And there's two albums of theirs that are great. Stellar, which is the song "Drive." My time to drive. It's a great song.
Mhm.
And but they were kind of in that weird. I guess they were considered new metal, but they're not. They're very poppy in some areas. They're kind of
Mhm.
more pop rock, but that album is like every song is great. It's I mean it's their biggest one. They just did the anniversary of it. It's like 25 years old. I felt so
No,
old,
I know.
you
I know these
know.
things. Some of these albums on my list are over 50 years.
Yeah, I know. And I saw them. They were on Jimmy Kimmel Live during COVID of the big stage show,
Hmm.
and they look so old, but man, they can still play. They got a different bass player now, but everybody else is still original, and that guy can still sing. Yeah, I mean, it's weird. He's practically a pop singer, male pop singer, doing rock music, and his voice was so good. And the lyrics were great. "Nice to Know You" is a great song. "Wish You Were Here." There's now so many others. I just can't think of all the songs on there. But that one I added in today because I think it's a better album than Dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dirt was it's a
Yeah.
good album. But
Alice in Chains.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good band too.
yeah, it was
Alice in
tough.
Chains,
That was a
yeah.
tough one. Trust
Yeah.
me.
Well, my next one is Led Zeppelin.
Hmm,
Led Zeppelin 4.
that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a
That's
good one.
really I
Black
think the only
Dog,
one.
Stairway to Heaven. I could never hear Stairway to Heaven again the rest of my life and I'd be okay
Yeah,
because I've heard that so much. But Going to California
man,
is one of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs.
that's a good song. Yeah.
Yeah, rock and roll, When the Levee Breaks. It's a great album. And I was a young teenager when that came out. I don't know what year it came out. Early 70s, I guess. 73, 74, 72. I don't know. And I played the War of the Grooves off that thing. That was such a good record.
That is
and
Yeah.
and disappointingly, I saw Led Zeppelin in 1976 in Seattle, and they were terrible. And it could have been because they played the Kingdom with 67,000 people in there, and it was so crowded, and so it was just awful. Didn't like him. And I kind of went off the Led Zeppelin bandwagon after that show, believe it or not. I was like, yeah, these guys, but that album is so good, and I'd have to take that one with me, I think.
Mhm.
So,
My next one, is three. "Paint by Numbers," another Joey Upwards band.
Mhm.
That's that song alone. Three is just or "Paint by Numbers" itself. The song that the album's named after is fantastic. But my favorite song on there. What how's the lyrics go? I'm sorry, give me a second here. Oh yeah, the song "Leaving After All," like the second verse starts. Time is a bus. It drives itself through all of us. It snags and drags us in funny places. When traffic is when traffic's heavy on our faces, I'll just damn.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with them, so
Yeah, they're
I really can't comment. But
they're a little poppy, a little funk, a little rock.
mhm.
That album was very funk. Like "You've Been Shot" and "Paint by Numbers." Old Gray Dog. I love that song. Reminds me of Carlos every time I hear it.
Oh, great dog.
And it's exactly what it's about.
Yeah.
Like what this says that somebody's cloudy eyes, and you don't get up and jump around anymore, boy. And it's such it is again that's a hard one to find.
Mhm.
They're a hard band to find because they named themselves a number, which is always a mistake. Which is
Yeah.
probably where things got a little difficult
I
for them.
might have gone wrong there.
Yeah, but that album is great, and it's again one that if I lose it, like for a while there, they were not on iTunes anymore. I was like, what the hell? And I had to go find it somewhere. I found it on Amazon, and downloaded it to my phone, and I've kept it there ever since. It's on like it goes from computer to computer to make sure to move it over. But it's that is such a great album. They're back on iTunes now, but and Joey Uppert is again, you hear his great guitar playing.
Mhm.
It's his songwriting, his lyrics, and then the band as a whole is fantastic in it.
Okay. All right. Well, my next one is Jethro Tull, Aqualung. You knew I was gonna have to put that on there.
Yeah, I knew a Jethro Tull was coming.
Yeah, yeah. Aqualung is it's really their first big album, but it was kind of a slow burner. It wasn't an immediate hit. It didn't go right to number one,
Mm.
but people, of course, it didn't get any radio play.
No, no.
So people kind of word of mouth and and all that kind of discovered it. And I heard it from a neighbor of mine that had it and did not like it at all.
Really?
Yeah, but I had already heard Jethro Tull because I had bought their Benefit album, which is the one before this one, when I was
Yeah,
15 years
that's a
old.
good album too.
And of course, I didn't follow music as closely, and they got no radio play. So this friend of mine had this album and said, "You want this?" I don't even like it. So I took it
Mhm.
for free. And it's probably some of their best work. It's been considered a concept album, but it's really not. But each side of the album has a theme, I guess. The side one is Aqualung, he's a homeless guy, and it's around about that kind of life. Cross-eyed Mary, she's a teenage prostitute, and that song, and there's some good acoustic stuff on there. I think that's when Ian Anderson was finding his singer-songwriter side of himself, and did like Cheap Day Return or Wondering Aloud. That's just him and an acoustic guitar.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really good. And side two is really about organized religion, and there's some good songs on there
Yeah,
too.
I've heard a couple of those. Yeah,
My God,
yeah,
Wind
that's
Up, Locomotive Breath, all those. Every song on there is good. That whole album is just really, really good.
that's a
Yeah.
good choice. And they got bumped. I had Stand Up.
I thought you were going to put Stand Up.
Yeah, it was so close.
Yeah.
It was so close.
Yeah.
Um, Today I had to like sit down and if I can, it's put it this way: if they were to say you can only take 10, I'd be like, come on, what's 5 more? They're not that heavy.
Yeah, not that heavy. Let me bring some more.
It's
Yeah.
a couple more. It's a couple more. No, that's a good choice too. I didn't think about that one. That is a really good one. But Stand Up's great. Man, I don't know.
Aqualung.
Yeah. Well, my next one is a little heavy metal band from Atlanta, Georgia, Mastodon, Emperor of Sands.
Mastodon.
Love Mastodon. I cannot. They are. They're just good. Like at the end of the day, they're just great. But this one in particular is great because it was about. I think a lot of them were dealing with loss in the family. I think one of the guys, the wives got sick with shit cancer. The drummer lost his father. The lead guitarist lost his brother, and the other guitarist lost her brother. I think, or it might be the other way around. I can't remember. So that's what it's all about. It's about time. It's a concept album, but it's about the Emperor of Time. The Sands, the Emperor of Sands. It's the Emperor of Time,
Uh-huh.
and the whole album is about that. And when it starts up, it has the best beginning. Is it's just a little tingy guitar, ding 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 ding, ding, and then it just drops. I mean, it hits you with a wall of sound. You're like, oh my god, okay. And then they start going, and this was the one where this drummer really came out as the more dominant singer, which is really kind of weird watching them because when you see this dude with a microphone and he's doing this complicated, guy's more talent than most human beings alive. But every song in it is so great. Steam Breather is great. Show Yourself is the second song on that album that starts up, and they just start. Their songs, they're not one of those. They don't drag it out. Done. It drops. It's gone. Next song starts. They just go, and they are so good. And I had another one was oh no, it's the one right before. I can't remember the name of it, but it's also very good. But I had to go with this one just because it's middle age. These guys are all middle aged now. And I kind of relate to that being middle aged. It's like I get what they're saying here. It's all about don't regret, don't waste your time. Go. It's great. Great album. And again, it's heavy metal, very progressive, but it's very heavy at times. And they have all style of singing going on because all of them sing. So
well, that's good. I might have to give them a listen. I've never really.
They're very. If I would hit you with like Show Yourself first, kind of bringing in easy, and then like, okay, this is the opening song. You're like, holy shit, that's heavy.
Might be a little too heavy for me.
But it's funny when they talk about Black Sabbath. They talk about how they're considered a heavy metal. Listen to Mastodon. That can get a little heavy, or even Opeth, which did not make it. Sadly, they got bumped. But one again. If I had 15, I could have got it. But yeah, that's you got. I have to have a Mastodon album somewhere. They're just too good.
Well, the last one on my 10 of my 10, or the first one, depending on how you want to look at it, is another Jethro Tull one. Thick as a Brick.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Probably my all-time favorite.
That's a good one. That's one of the best lyrical beginnings ever.
Oh, yeah. The acoustic opening on that is just fantastic.
Oh, it's great.
And that's a great album. It was, they called, the album before it was Aqualung, and the critics called Aqualung a concept album. And Ian Anderson said, this is not a concept album. You want a concept album? I'll show you one. And they did Thick as a Brick, which it's really not. It's one song, but it's really not. If you listen to it, it's one song. It's several songs that are kind of linked together, but it does have a concept. It's about a boy in his youth, kind of growing up in the world, and people think he's thick as a brick, but he's really not. He's a pretty smart young man, and actually, when the album was done, the cover of it is a newspaper. You remember the newspaper thing, and the lead article on there was this kid named Gerald Bostock who wrote this song that Jethro Tull recorded called Thick as a Brick. He wrote a poem, and Jethro Tull put it to music and recorded it, and people believed that story. They thought it was true. This 8-year-old boy, 8-year-old boy wrote this poem, and Jethro Tull put it to music. And there's people that probably still believe that, and it's not true, of course. It was all a big parody, a big spoof. But yeah, that is my all-time favorite album. I couldn't leave that one behind.
Yeah, no, that is it.
I sold a lot of my vinyl stuff off, as you know. I kept that one.
No,
that one is not going anywhere. That was. So that's my 10.
Well, my last one is my hands down favorite band that's not Mastodon. Tool, Fear Inoculum.
Yeah, Tool.
Their newest one. I was it was hard because Tool was that first band when I was probably about 15. And I heard Enema. I was like, oh, that's different. Like that was that time when, because we're coming out of the grunge era, and music. I loved that era of music, but it was music business starting to get a little too samey. The Tool came, and it was just so different. It was like Rush meets just metal, And but Fear Inoculum is, again, that's their acknowledging, hey, we're getting old, and it is such a great album musically. That is the best album I've heard musically ever. And Danny Carey playing drums in that.
My brother Mark, your Uncle Mark, really likes them.
Holy cow, they are just fantastic. And well, yeah, he's in his mid 50s, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he's
Yeah,
12 years older than I am.
yeah. So yeah, so yeah, he's about 13 years older than I am. So yeah, we're
Yeah,
kind of weirdly in that same age range, you know. But it's yeah, it's such a great album. First time I heard it, I was like, this is good.
yeah.
Like this, everything, the
That's a
music
good
is.
band. They're good.
Oh, they are so good, and everything about them is good. You know, Maynard's 60 now.
Yeah.
The other singer, and it's like, man, you guys are in your 60s now. Holy
No.
shit, how old am I? But
Yeah. It's
yeah,
crazy.
you know, and I've always listened to Tool, and again, like Mastodon, I have to have a Tool album, and that's the one I would pick because it's their most complete,
Hmm.
lyrically, musically, it's just complete. It's perfect Tool, you
Yeah.
know, and it's excellent. And that's my list. That's
Yeah. Well, good. You want to do honorable mentions?
if we could do some. Yeah, I had a
Yeah.
couple through out there.
I got five of them, Mac.
All right, go for it. Yeah,
You
go
know.
for it.
Number 11, I can just read them all off.
Yeah,
You want to
yeah,
do that
it
one?
doesn't matter. You can.
The 11th on my list was Rush Vapor Trails.
That's a good
Their
album.
comeback
Yeah,
after Neil, they're what 5 years off because Neil Peart lost his wife and daughter
yeah,
in separate things, and one was a car accident, and the other was cancer. But and that was their kind of their comeback album. The original recording of it wasn't very good, but I think it was 2003 or somewhere around there. They remastered it,
mhm,
or 2013. They didn't remaster it. They remixed it,
yeah,
and the remix. If you're gonna get that album, get the remix because
yeah,
it's so
yeah.
much better.
That's the one I
Uh,
have. Is the
uh,
remix one.
and next is Yes, 90125. I could take that one off the list though, I think. Depends on my
This is
mood.
so weird. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because
I
it's a
could.
good album. I think it's probably their best, or at least their most accessible album, because they're like everything's good and bad about progressive rock,
Yes,
and
it's like Genesis, kind of the same thing.
and I think it's a good album. There's a lot of good songs on there, but I could take it or leave it. Depends on my mood.
Yeah,
I was in the right mood when I wrote it down, and I look at it today and go, I don't know about that one. Jethro Tull again, A Passion Play,
mm,
good album. That was a follow up to Thick as a Brick. Wasn't as good as Thick as a Brick. I think lyrically, maybe it was a little hard to understand. People didn't get it. And I didn't get it until I was probably in my 50s. I'm like, oh, now I know what that album's about. Ronnie Pilgrim died and he goes through heaven and hell and everything and then gets reincarnated. That's what the album's about. But it took me a long time to figure it out, like 30, 40 years. But that's a good album. Musically, I think they were at the top of their game as a band. Uh, so that's a good one. Counting Crows, August and everything
yeah,
after. Yeah,
yeah.
that's on
That's
there.
such a good.
And the last one I had on here, and it could come or go, is Alice Cooper, Billion Dollar Babies.
That's a good one though. That is
I
a
think
good
that's
one.
their best album
Yeah,
as a band, Billion Dollar Babies. School's Out with their biggest hit, but
yeah,
this album was musically their best, I think. Lyrically, well,
yeah. Alice Cooper.
it's Alice Cooper. Finally saw him in concert a few years ago.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
fun.
they're good. They were good too. Well, I mean, wasn't the original band by
No,
any means.
by any means, but
It was the original guy, the
yeah,
lead singer,
you can
but
still sing.
yeah, he can still do it.
But anyway,
That's yours.
that's mine.
Mine was Alice in Chains, Dirt.
Yeah,
That is
good
the
album.
first album I ever bought, and
Mhm.
that is such a great album. That is I just loved it, but it's not something I listen to much anymore, and
Yeah.
I've kind of I don't know. Once in a while, I'll turn it on, or if a song comes on in my shuffle, I'll listen to it. But yeah, I don't listen to it as much anymore. So I was like, yeah, all right, I guess I could put that one away. And then Jethro Tull Stand Up.
Hmm.
That is
That's a good album.
my favorite of there. Always that.
Yeah.
I mean, I just love it. And the version I have also has my favorite song of theirs that they've ever done is "The Past." Help me,
Living in the Past.
"Living in the Past." It's on there. It has like a bonus track.
Well, it was on the original.
Was it on the original?
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
think
it
so.
was.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
Let me look
This
it up.
version I
Yeah,
have, you go through the whole album, and then it's like the second song on the bonus stuff.
shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Stand Up. A New Day Yesterday, Back in the
Yeah.
Fat Man Joe. No, you're right.
Yeah. I think that one's Benefit. I think that was on Benefit.
No, I think that one was recorded as a single.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, yeah, they released it
Yeah.
as a single.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah,
on my version of stand up I have, so it makes it to me just
yeah, you're right.
my favorite album right there. So I love that
I think
song.
I don't know, man.
And then you have, and of course, You Used to Know.
Yeah,
Was
nothing
it
is
A
easy.
Thousand Mothers?
4,000 mothers.
4,000 Mothers,
Yeah.
and then Nothing Is Easy.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah, it's a good album.
that's a good album.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
tough.
I got that one later on because the first one I bought was Benefit, which
Yeah.
was this was their second album.
Yeah.
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 So Benefit was their third.
Stand Up was the second?
Stand Up was their second.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was the first. My bad.
No, the first was This Was,
Okay.
which is really a blues album if you listen to it. They had their original guitars still.
Oh, shit.
Mick Abraham.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, you got Smashing Pumpkins, Melancholy, Infinite Sadness. I mean, that's my generation. That's one of my generation's big ones. Tonight. I mean, there's so many.
Not really a
Bolt
fan
with
of,
Butterfly Wings. It's just,
not really a fan of theirs, but I've heard some of their music and it's okay.
yeah. It's like Our Lady Peace, right? His voice can grind on you a little bit, but he can write, like Our Lady Peace, he can write a friggin' song. And I've always said, no one writes songs since the 1990s. But of course, but the bands, what have I listed, are all bands from that era.
Yeah,
So,
I have a lot of 90s bands on here too.
that was a great era in music. That was a good decade of music. And it just died in 2000. Because a lot of these bands kind of went quiet, well, except for Mastodon. They kind of came around in 2000, but they formed in 99. But that one, and then Mastodon's Once Around the Sun, which is the one before the one I put on there. That's just, again, that's one of those ones, like the first song I have, you're like, oh, that's unique. Like just And Opeth, Pale Communion. That's their very, very progressive one. It's when they just stopped doing the metal altogether. Well, the one before they stopped doing the metal. But this one, it went full on jazzy progressive rock, and it's so good. Voice of Treason. So Martin Axelrod on the drums in that song. Like, I had it playing in the truck. I think we were going to Aldi's. Like, it's too bad the sound system in this truck sucks. You can hear everything this man is doing behind the kit.
Truck's stereo is not very good.
It is powerful. I mean, that guy can play, and the songs are great. But it just, it's not going to beat out an Incubus, unfortunately. That album, to me, for youth, my age, I think is the age it came out, because they always talk about, like, when a young man hits like a certain age of music, then that's it. And for me, is my late teens, early 20s, and that's when, like, Incubus and Our Lady Peace became really a big seminal thing. So, but newer, but Opeth's been around since 92, so they've been around forever. So that's pretty much my honorable mentions. I couldn't think of anything else.
I could think of a lot of them.
Yeah.
This was really a hard thing to do. I spent quite a bit of time on this, actually, going through my playlists and what albums I have left and the box in there, and flipping through those, going, "Yeah, boy, I like that one." I could put 100 on here, probably, like 100 records instead of 10 or 15. That's it was hard to narrow it down. But I thought it was fun to do.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
It's a little bit more of a fun podcast for us.
Well, it was
listen to it. So
it was an interesting way of doing it. And doing listings are kind of fun because it's really challenging in a way. It's weirdly challenging. Like, if we were to do this for movies, it's movies for me and music for me. There's things that can change every day.
I could do it for movies. I'm not a big movie guy. I don't watch a lot of movies, but I have some favorites.
Do you?
Yeah.
But it's that would be hard. It's like, these are the only movies I can bring, but you don't understand, I love them all.
That's me with music, and of course my music. I don't care about your music.
That's kind of like how I am. I love music. Well, like that wrong way. I'm a dog lover. Well, okay, I love my dog. I give a shit about your dog. But no, that is it was fun. I enjoyed doing it, putting it together. It was. I finished it today. Matter of fact, what you got to do? I finished it. Yeah.
I finished mine a couple of days ago, and I thought, I'm not changing it. But then I brought it up today and printed it so we could sit down and talk about it. And I'm like, I could take a couple of these off here, put a couple of different ones on.
Well, I had my list of honorable ones. Like, are they going to bump something on here? Man, it's so close. I'm gonna go with this list today, but if you're to ask me tomorrow, it might be different.
Yeah, mine will probably be different.
Dirt will might be in there, or the other Mastodon would be in there. I try to go for variety too. I want one of all bands, because I'd have three Mastodons and a shitload of Our Lady Peace.
Yeah, and I would have a whole bunch of Jethro Tulls and
Yeah, exactly.
Rush and
Every Tool album,
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's all. That's it today.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you guys enjoyed that, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We do this weekly, so we'll come up with another one. I don't know what our next one's going to be.
I don't know. I haven't really thought about
We'll
it.
sit and think about it this week. We'll try to get this one out at least by Tuesday.
Mhm.
And until next time, everybody have a wonderful week.
All
Thank
right.
you, and bye-bye.
Take care. Well, hopefully that's